Hey there, happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here in the Extol Media Studios. We are in New Albany, Indiana, uptown New Albany, Indiana, and we can take a peek right outside. There you can see the cloudy skies, and the steady and heavy rain has moved off to the east now, and actually seeing a peak of blue skies. We look live there at the corner of Market and Vincennes on this Friday. It is May the 30th, our last Friday of May. We're going to wrap up this crazy month of just on and off rain showers that we've had, interrupting outdoor plans and interrupting our yard work plans. So hopefully as we begin June, which we'll see, we're going to look at our long range forecast through the first week of June, that we're going to be heading towards a drier, more summer-like weather pattern overall. Still tracking some rain chances, though. Again, as we just looked outside, we got some rain, but we also have some rain on the radar. But that bulk of that heavy rain has moved off to the east. We picked up about an inch of rain in many locations. We'll take a look at the radar rainfall estimates for the storm total with this rain, with the bulk of it moving in overnight and early this morning. Thankfully, no severe weather in southern Indiana. There was a tornado warning earlier this morning that was down around Marion County, Kentucky. But most of this just regular old rainfall as this been moving through. Didn't even hear a rumble of thunder as it's been moving through the area. Just checking on our live stream on my Facebook page here. Thanks for joining us here on my Facebook page, Meteorologist Ben Peine. Again, that is P-E-I-N-E. Thanks for liking or following the page today and helping to get that word out there to some more folks. Or Extol Weather on Facebook and also Extol Media on YouTube. Give us the like and subscribe there on YouTube. Extolmag.com/weather. That is EXTOLMAG.com. Extolmag.com/weather, where we've got a whole lot more weather information for you as well with the interactive radar. Speaking of radar, here is the live radar scene where we are now a whole lot drier across the area. Over most of southern Indiana, starting to dry things out. You've got some light rain as we go full screen here, and this is just showing you the DBZ. That is just the intensity of the rainfall. It's very light there around Paoli and Mitchell, Indiana. So parts of Orange and Lawrence County getting in on some light rain, some heavier rain showers off to your west around Washington, Indiana, and heading to the northeast. And then as we look up to the north, up I-65 and just to the east of 65, just east of Austin, Indiana, there you can see some sprinkly activity, a little drizzly around Austin. And then just off to the northeast of Austin as well, you've got some of these showers there at the intersection of 250 and Highway 3 between Crothersville and DuPont, and some sprinkles there around North Vernon. Louisville dry, and then off to the south, you can see some rain showers around Hart and Greene and eastern LaRue County. Parts of Nelson and Washington County, some light rain showers as well. So for the rest of today, it's just going to be kind of spotty with the rain chances, not the steady rain that we had earlier this morning that is now off to our east. So there is a look at the live radar scan and the loop here over the last half hour or so. You can see the motion of that rain moving around this area of low pressure that is starting to move now off to the east. So not a total washout for today. Again, we have that heavy, steady batch off to the east of us now. Some spotty stuff through midday. I would say mid to late afternoon, it's going to be driest today, so mostly dry later on this afternoon. Lower 70s, some peaks of sunshine out there. And then later on tonight, little disturbance coming in. So a few more showers possible late tonight. And of course, as we always do on Ben at 10, we're going to be timing out these rain chances for the rest of today. I'll show you when we'll have those dry breaks and maybe another chance for some showers as we look hour by hour with the future radar. We'll look at a mostly dry weekend, a very warm next week as it's going to start off summer-like for our month of June. And then we're going to look ahead to our next good rain chance, which will be later next week, perhaps like late Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday of next week. Here is also a peek at our interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. You can see our temperatures here are starting off as we bring this up full screen in the upper 50s, lower 60s, and that steady rain moving off to the northeast. So look at that big blob of rain. That's what we had over us early this morning. You were pretty soggy if you saturated if you were heading out earlier this morning. That is now moving off to the northeastern Kentucky and into Ohio. And so starting to see improving conditions across the area. It looks like there is one severe thunderstorm warning there in eastern Kentucky. So that's it as far as any severe weather threat from that system. And then notice to the west of us, coming down with that northwest flow behind this system, there are a few of these spotty showers that we still might encounter a little bit later on this morning through about midday today. All right, so that's what we have out there right now. Let me go ahead and back out of the full screen view of that. And we'll get to your comments in just a second. Thank you very much for tuning in here. And I want to give a shout out to ivytech.edu. Ivy Tech Sellersburg campus, you belong here. I say it every time. My daughter's already got 30 college credits from Ivy Tech through Prosser. So getting a head start in her college career, maybe only needing 3 years to get her degree as she goes to IU later this summer. 42 programs offered. Of course, Prosser gives you that head start for a lot of kids with those vocational programs in Southern Indiana. And then you can continue that, and you can see all of the different programs offered here. And you can just go to ivytech.edu to go to locations, and then boom, hit that Sellersburg, and you're right there to learn all about the Sellersburg campus. There are partnerships, special programs, all the events and news and maps and tours and everything you need right there. And it can get you trained to be a roofing repair technician. That's what they're looking for at Lyons Roofing. They are hiring. You can call 812-294-3595. You can see on their page the free estimate that you can fill out if you need some more information, some help, some advice, service with your roof. They are protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. So that is at lionsroofingco.com. Awesome people there, family owned, trustworthy business right out of Memphis, Indiana. More jobs. Head to libspaving.com. 50 years, top asphalt paving contractor around. You go to the upper right-hand corner here at libspaving.com. That's libs with a B, L-I-B-S. B as in Ben, and you can go to see all the opportunities, scroll on down, and you can see all of the job postings, and on the right side, just click right there, and you can apply and fill out that application online. So get your career started right there at libspaving.com. Once you get that job and you need to put all that money in the bank, people you know wherever you go, banking the way you want here. newwashbank.com is where you can learn a whole lot more. Or just head into a friendly location here, a branch here in Southern Indiana. But I use this as well. It's super easy to log on, manage your finances. If you need some extra cash, maybe to help out your next business adventure or whatever, or repairs around the house, you can get information on a home equity loan right there, mortgages, and a whole lot more. It's got the NWSB mobile app linked up right there too. That is newwashbank.com. So thanks to all of our partners there. Here's a look outside live again at the fallsoftheohio.org camera. Some low clouds across the area. A gloomy start to our day. We've had several mornings with some wet conditions and then drier afternoons, and that's kind of the setup for today as well. So we do have that rain, that steady rain now off to our east. So looking a whole lot better across the area right now. Bring that up full screen as we look at some of the folks tuning in on our Friday edition of Ben at 10 on this May the 30th here at 10:09. Perry Porter, the first one popping in on this rainy day. Beverly Haggis, usually number one, number two this morning. Good morning, Beverly. From Borden, Indiana, saying, rain, rain, go away. I think a lot of us are saying the same thing. Although I've had some comments from some folks happy that their gardens are getting a fresh, free drink of water. You don't have to drag out the hose as you got some free water on the gardens this morning. Hopefully, a lot of the farmers have been able to get their crops in the fields as well. I know they want to do that before June, as they would get into June. And we've got, oh, Joe, thanks. Good morning, cutie. Good morning. And Mary Dale, we've got good morning, Ben. So glad to see you again and see what's happening in the weather. Mary Dale, thanks for tuning into our Ben at 10 as we have the live cam up here right now. Ray Van Riper, thanks for tuning in from New Albany this morning. Sherry Coyne, a good morning to you. And a good morning to Deborah Nichols from Clarksville, Indiana. We've got a wild bunch in the comments this morning, so thank you all for tuning in here. We'll get to the forecast, and then we're going to run through the weather models, look at some very warm conditions next week. So that signal for very warm weather continues for next week, so that is good. In my opinion, that is good. So also just want to remind you too, if you would like to join in and partner up with us here at Extol Media, Extol Weather, you can certainly do that easily by just contacting me at ben@extolmag.com and Jason at extolmag.com. We've been averaging over 2 million views per month over the last 90 days, and that does not include all of the other offerings on the platforms with Extol Media, located right here in New Albany, Indiana. Again, contact me if you just have a weather question. Feel free, ben@extolmag.com. All right, quick little update from last night. That is baseball sectionals at Lanesville. We did get the win, Borden versus Henryville. My son Brady right there in the middle next to my dad, his grandpa, Dave Peine, and my stepmom, his grandma, Diana Peine. They got to drive down from Indianapolis, and thankfully, we did not have the grandparent curse, which seems to happen sometimes. Maybe you're familiar with that. But he got 3 hits. One of them was on an error, but nonetheless, he got 3 runs, made some killer plays at second base. So Brady had an awesome game, and they're going to be playing Lanesville, I believe, at 7 on Saturday. So I'm going to be popping up to Indianapolis for my niece's graduation, then popping back down to sectionals Saturday. It's still a very, very busy time in the Peine household. So it was fun game out there last night. We had some sprinkles there in the evening time as expected, but we never got any of that heavy rain until during the late overnight hours as expected. So the forecast today, we'll go 72, a drier afternoon. We are still going to have some hit or miss showers, kind of spotty here over the next few hours through early afternoon. Before we start to see some drier conditions mid to late afternoon. So again, not a washout here. We kind of had the washout early morning with up to about an inch of rainfall in many locations. We'll see those rainfall totals here in just a second with the live radar too. Northwest wind 10 to 20. So wind's picking up a little bit more than some of the calmer days that we've had. And our sunset almost at 9 p.m. So we're definitely kind of done with the heavy rain today, although some spotty downpours would be possible. The play ball forecast today, mostly dry late day. So if there are any games scheduled for the last day of school, by the way, for most of Southern Indiana schools, happy last day of school. School's out for summer. It's been out for a week for JCPS and a lot of Kentucky schools, Indiana a week later. So happy last day of school today. It is the unofficial start to summertime for many around the area. So we're looking at upper 60s, low 70s this evening. I'll give it about a 30% chance of rain, but I think a lot of areas will be dry late afternoon and just a little bit breezy out there. Our forecast for tonight, low 60 degrees. A few showers will be possible later on tonight as we get a little disturbance to move through. Mostly cloudy, we'll call it west wind at around 5 to 10. Sun up tomorrow morning if you're up that early at 6:21. Tomorrow's forecast for Saturday, May 31st, our final day of May, 60 in the morning time. I've got a 20% chance of rain going tomorrow. A lot of us won't get that rain, but a backdoor front will be moving through. I'll show you that with the hour by hour here in just a moment too. So just a small chance of a shower, perhaps a little better chance southwest of our area. So 72 at noon, 77 tomorrow afternoon. So comfortably warm across the area. Still about 5 degrees below normal. Average high is 82 and our normal low is 64. You can see that information on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And our sunrise tomorrow morning, again, right around 6:21, 6:22, and our sunset at 9 p.m. We begin those 9 p.m. sunsets that take us through the month of June and our longest days of the year and our latest sunsets of the year as well. So Sunday looking great. Sunshine, 78 for our June 1st. We'll see some cooler nights. Good camping weather if you're fortunate enough to go camping. And in the comments, let me know what's going on this weekend in your neck of the woods. Do you have an event going on in your county, your town, your city? Let us know what's happening. We've got away baseball and I think away soccer regionally here. So let us know if there's any fun events happening, maybe a craft fair, maybe a garage sale, whatever it might be. We'll get it out here for you. 82 on Monday, 87 degrees on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday looks like our warmest days in the mid 80s, maybe a few spots in some urban areas touching the upper 80s, so summer-like there. One thing to notice as we get into warmer days, also watch the nighttime temperatures. If those nighttime temperatures are going up, that indicates your humidity is going up too. They go hand in hand. Your nighttime temperatures can't drop lower than the dew point, and that's that measure of water content in the air. And the dew point is the temperature at which the air needs to drop to condense out water out of the air and produce dew. So you get that Mountain Dew from Taco Bell and you sit it outside and it starts to get that dew on it. Well, obviously the ice and that the air temperature right around that glass, that cup, is dropping down to the dew point, and you get that water to condense out of the air, thus the dew point. Again, long way to say, watch the low temperatures at nighttime here in the 7-day forecast as we get to the upper 60s next Tuesday, Wednesday. That would be an indication that we not only have some of the heat coming in, feeling more summer-like through our first week of June, but also starting to tack on some humidity as well. It looks like a lot of Wednesday's dry. The Euro and GFS bring in a rain chance late Wednesday, and then Thursday looks like the bullseye for the next really good chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. So Thursday of next week. Some of that rain trying to linger maybe into next Friday as well. All right, so we're going to get back to, we'll move that, add that, and take a live look out there. Here is a look at the current radar conditions across the area. I'll go ahead and pause this, put it on the live radar, and bring that up full screen. Also, we can take a peek outside once again. If you're just popping in on our Ben at 10 here at 10:17, we've got the low clouds, the gloomy conditions, but the steady rain has moved out for now. With that said, we still have the potential for some spotty showers that you can see out to our west right now. So the live scans are showing that the heavier rain to the northeast of our area, east and northeast, and just some spotty sprinkles over southern Indiana and parts of Kentucky out there right now. Where did I leave off? Here we go. We've got Kathy Kerpenstein. Hope I said that correctly. At least the rain slows down. The early morning cicadas. That's very interesting because there's a lot of areas that do not have the cicadas. So Louisville's got cicadas. A lot of Kentucky counties have cicadas. Harrison County, Indiana has them. Perhaps parts of Clark, but out towards us in the Borden Valley, I haven't heard a single cicada. But it is brood XIV, brood 14, that is exploding across the area. So thanks for that cicada report there, Kathy. I'm not sure where you're coming in from. And Beverly Haggis, my farmer son and brother-in-law were out in the field very late last night to try to get as much before the rain came as they could. So it is planting time early in the grow. I don't even know if it's probably mid-growing season, early growing season. So we need to get all the seeds in the fields here, and this rain has been causing some interruptions. So thinking about all the farmers out there, busy right now. And we've got a congratulations to Vicki Berger. Salem Lady Lions won their sectional against Eastern last night. Congrats to Salem, sorry, Eastern. And Sherry saying Brady's tall. Yeah, Brady has popped up to taller than me now. And she's talking about my son Brady right there that moved on in sectionals last night. So yeah, he's towering over Grandpa and starting to get taller than me too. So he's up to about 6'2" now. So he's still growing. Vicky saying, great job, Brady. Thank you very much. Lillian Lasley popping in this morning. Good morning to you. We've got Kenny's Imports. Sun is trying to make it out here in Sellersburg. Yeah, we're getting some peaks of sunshine behind that steady rain that we had earlier. And Janet, flights cicada free in the Linden area. Very nice. Not hearing those loud cicadas. Give us your cicada report on this Friday here at 10:20 on Ben at 10. Sherry says, wow. Here we go. We got Kathy saying, I should have said, I'm Peter's mom from Crusade. Hey, Kathy, and from the Anchorage, Middletown area. So that is interesting. There's just pockets of those cicadas. Thank you very much for watching, Kathy. So doing a little tour of the radar here before we get into the weather models. And so now we've got those sprinkles that were near Austin, Indiana, near Scottsburg, basically the east side, east of downtown Scottsburg, down 203. I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen so you can see this. So eastern Scott County moving into Jefferson County, Indiana. So Hanover, Madison, looks like you'll get some of this light rain spreading back into your area right there. That is just very, very light. Again, the heavy stuff is gone to the east. You can see that in eastern Kentucky. But there is this batch of some showers that is dropping from the northwest to the southeast. So heads up here in Bedford, Mitchell, Paoli, some brief heavy rainfall out of that. Maybe a rumble of thunder as well. So that is tracking off to the southeast and will be impacting parts of southern Indiana over the next couple of hours. So we'll have these spotty showers over the next few hours before mostly dry mid to late afternoon. As we cruise down in here into Kentucky, you've got Greensburg, Campbellsville, Lebanon, and Springfield under some light rain showers right now. And I know if you're watching the replay later today, this does not matter to you, but I do want to say thank you for watching the replay later this Friday afternoon. Drop in a comment, a like, a subscribe if you're tuning in later on today or tonight. We're still going to give you that weather model, plan out your weekend here basically right now. So let's actually, before we do take a look at the weather model data, I want to bring up the rainfall totals that we picked up since last night. So this is a look at the total precipitation map. Got a lot of pretty colors here. And so I'll just plot some. That is near Borden. These are radar rainfall estimates. They're not like 100% accurate, but they get pretty close. And I'm just plotting them kind of randomly across the area. We're going to bring this up full screen. So if you can see that on your screen, that shows about an inch, give or take, in most locations. Do you have a rain gauge? Let me know what's going on in your backyard, how much filled up there. Looks like kind of a bullseye, West Louisville into southern Floyd, Harrison County, about an inch, inch and a half. And then the brighter colors south indicates some 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts that you see there down towards Bullitt and Hardin County into Meade County, Kentucky's. And then a little farther north into Clark County, you can see about a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall overall. So that's the storm total rainfall estimates from last night and early this morning. So that heavy batch is now out of here. So it's kind of cool what these radars can do. We get used to this technology, but it's still amazing. And speaking of cool things, it's the future radar and the mathematics that go into this. So that was a little bit earlier. That is gone now. We're going to fast forward. I'm going to go to the HRRR 48-hour weather model. Actually, I'm going to start with this is 11 a.m. It is actually a little bit behind, I would say, because that batch of rain is a little bit farther off to the east, which is okay. It's just lagging a little bit with that rainfall. So we're going to take a peek ahead here as we head into the afternoon hours. So this is 1 o'clock. And we've got a good morning from John Fox. Thanks for watching there from the Okolona area, Fern Creek area. Sue Shively Good morning. Thanks for sharing the weather. Thanks for being here. Thanks for commenting. And Beverly Haggis, my rain gauge on Daisy Hill Road in Borden says 1 inch. So that matches up very good. Love that ground truth, Beverly, of matching up the radar to what you're seeing in your backyard. So looks like the radar pretty accurate in estimating the rainfall amounts. Okay, so this is a look at 1 p.m. today. You can still see some little isolated kind of hit or miss downpours across the area. And then we're going into like 2 o'clock here. Notice as we go to like, early mid-afternoon, that chance of rain greater to the east of I-65, less out to the west as this area of low pressure is pulling off towards the east and northeast. We'll go to around 5 o'clock, and there you can see that trend as we just gradually turn drier and drier through mid and late afternoon. And there we go. We're looking in good shape here. This is at 7 p.m. So mostly dry into much of the evening time for your Friday night. If you have some Friday night plans, it looks like we're in pretty good shape out there. There is nothing on the map. This is at 9 p.m. So if you do have those Friday night plans, that is the HRRR weather model, the HRRR high resolution weather model. And then this is going to be the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. And we'll take a look at that kind of same time frame. This is at 8, and then this is at 9 p.m. So both weather models mainly dry for your Friday evening. Now that's probably not going to be the case as we head into later on tonight, but many of us might be sleeping when this happens. But notice this disturbance coming down from the north. This is at midnight, and this is at 1 a.m. So some of your gardens might get some fresh raindrops there during the overnight hours. And the late night hours, that's at 1 o'clock. And then the HRRR weather model, let me back this up a little bit to the late night hours. So this is at 10 p.m. tonight. We'll go 11 p.m. It also has that disturbance dropping down during the late night. That there is at 2 o'clock in the morning, early Saturday. So kind of the tail end of the system kind of wrapping down and giving us another chance for some showers late tonight. But I think, again, the moral of the story today, if you're kind of wanting an hour-by-hour outlook, spotty downpours through early afternoon, mid, late afternoon, evening, mainly dry, low 70s, some peaks of sunshine, which we've already seen out there, and then late tonight, as we approach midnight, starting to see that chance of showers dropping back in. All right, back to the future radar here. I'm going to take this into tomorrow. And what we're going to see here is a backdoor cold front. So we talked about this yesterday. Typically, we see cold fronts mirrored to this, opposite. Typically, our cold fronts are like this, coming in from the northwest. Well, this weak front is moving in from the northeast. So we call that a backdoor cold front. Typically, we get that in the summertime. We get those fronts coming in from that direction, kind of from the Great Lakes. So with that backdoor cold front, and a lot of times these backdoor cold fronts are really weak. They don't produce much precipitation, and it doesn't look like this one will either. So as this moves through, and the timing has been kind of off with this rain chance, but it looks like our best chance of an isolated shower here. Notice it's not a big deal for us. This is at 2 p.m. tomorrow with this chance of an isolated shower. I definitely would not cancel any outdoor plans, and that's at 4 o'clock. So maybe a brief passing shower. I've got it at like 20% chance for tomorrow. And then it just kind of washes out and weakens off to the southwest as we head into later in the day. So mostly dry across the area. Now, as far as any severe weather or anything like that, we are not expecting that anytime soon. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 1 severe weather risk is off to the southeast of our region. They have an enhanced risk of severe storms over parts of east central Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina today. So that's the severe weather threat today. Tomorrow, we've got that weak backdoor front, but it's not going to cause any severe weather. Across most of the United States, severe weather free. Only level 1 out in the Great Plains, and then the mid-Atlantic has that low level threat. Day 3 into Sunday, low level threat across the United States. So good to see that. Each week you can get through May or June with very little severe weather threat is certainly a good thing. And as we bring up the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, it shows the eastern half of the United States with a better chance of above normal temperatures. We got John Fox popping in here this morning with hearing all westbound lanes of 264 and I-65 for approximately 4 hours due to an overturned semi. And thank you for popping that up there, John. We can actually take a look at that. If you would like to, I can just pop in Trimark and see what's going on here. So there is 264. And it says 264 ramp to 65 south. 264 west, 265 south in Louisville. Left, all lanes blocked, approximately 4 hours. So you are on it, John Fox. Thanks for letting us know about that one. And bottom right-hand corner shows that camera right there. We can actually bring up the camera layers. So if you do have travel here, I can bring up that full screen. So there you go. Oops. That is a large overturned semi. So again, that is 264 westbound ramp to 65 south. So that means all that traffic on the Watterson westbound is going to be rather backed up. So there, if you've got travel in Louisville, as we approach lunchtime, this could be backed up for 4 hours. You can see the big suburban semi-wrecker there trying to upright that overturned semi right now. So that is a look at the Trimark happening in Louisville. Any other problems around Metro in southern Indiana? I don't see any here. Things looking good there. And that's a good reminder too. If you want to go to extolmag.com/weather, I've got you linked up on the Indiana side to the NDOT cameras and traffic reports as well. Trying to see what's happening here. Looks like things are okay. This is at I-65 at Stansifer Avenue, and you can see in the top right-hand corner the city skyline. But things are moving along just fine there on I-65. Again, just kind of watch out as you get to 264 and 65 in Louisville with the overturned semi there. Trying to see what this is. Oh, there's a crash, 65 southbound. But it looks like that's off to the side. So that is your traffic report on this Friday here at 10:33. We went on a little tangent thanks to John Fox's report right there. And then we got Sherry Coyne asking, I'm wondering if it will still be this rainy in July and August. We're usually begging for the rain by then. I would say probably no. June still looks, Sherry, a little bit unsettled. In the long-range data, we'll get these ridges of high pressure that give us several days of dry weather, but it still looks like the jet stream is close enough to give us these storms occasionally through June. And I know farmers are wanting about an inch per week or so through summertime. Total toss-up when we're talking about July and August. You can flip to a drought pattern at any point in time. So we really just can't see any signals that far out to predict whether we get into drought or if we stay wet. So just kind of have to play it out and see how it goes. All right, go back to the weather models there. Again, we're just looking at that crash at 264 and 65. It's the 6 to 10 day outlook, and then the 2-week outlook shows about normal temperatures across much of the continental United States. And we can go ahead and bring up the weather model temps. We can also look at the current temperatures. So we now have a northwest flow behind a front that has moved through. You can see those wind direction arrows. I'll go ahead and put this full screen. So these are the current temperatures. Um, 50s, upper 50s, low 60s over us right now. Oh, that's cool. You can click on the METAR. The METAR is the observation station at the airports, and it shows the time of that observation, the temperature, the dew point, the air pressure, the wind gust, and the humidity. So at Louisville, this is at Bowman Field, temperature 57, dew point 55. So when the air temperature and the dew point are very close together, then you got high humidity, 94% humidity. West wind at 9, gust to 21, and the air pressure is at 1,010 millibars, which is a little bit below the normal air pressure of 1,013, which makes sense. Low pressure means rain. We've got some rain moving through the area. And then as we look to the northwest, where they've got some sunshine to the northwest, the air pressure is higher. So as we go into central Illinois, the air pressure is actually above normal at 1,014 millibars. The humidity is lower. You've got a bigger separation between the temperature and the dew point, so the humidity is down to 64%. So some drier air off to the northwest. So there you go, the continental United States. It's just amazing the tools that are out there for weather enthusiasts and meteorologists, right at your fingertips. And I'm just scratching the surface of what this program here can show. All right, so we're going to go to the model temperatures. And I'm just going to plop this on, we'll probably just go June 3rd with this, because that's kind of the headline here, with the warmth on the way next week. GFS high resolution temperature. So there we go. So this would be a front out west over the midsection of the United States, and then plot some of these temperatures here. I'll zoom in a little bit more on our area. I like a little bit of a tilted view. All right, let's bring it up full screen. Let's get my face out of the way. And let me go ahead and pop this up here so we can see. Oh, it's not letting me do it. All right, so let's plot some temps here. Check that out. Just a bunch of 80s all over the place. And then you got 90s just out west. So there is the summertime type of warmth that we'll have moving back in for next week. And we still have not hit 90 degrees. By May 31st, by tomorrow's date and June 1st, typically we have hit 90 degrees. So we have not. So it's just been kind of a slow roll with our spring season with all these rain chances. Linda Anderson, good morning. Ben was trying to see about the semi. Thank you. You're welcome. Glad I could pop in some of that breaking news here on Ben at 10. And Sherry said, well, shoot, it doesn't get any better than a weather and drive time report. Thanks, no problem. Lily and Lasley in here with a have a good day. I want you to have a good day too, and a good weekend ahead. All right, let me clear this out. Let me get rid of that. So I think that is all of the weather model data that we'll report for today, and we'll bring back the radar and satellite, which shows the clearing trend out to the west. We're going to put this in this is about a 3-hour loop, 1.5. Let's go 2-hour loop. And we'll just wait for some of this data to load up here. Should pop in here. We've got a report from Steve Givens, 1.7 inches of rain here at the location of Brandenburg. Thanks for that report. Yeah, there was some higher amounts down your way. Here, let me try to pop up this scene one more time. There we go. There's the loop. Thank you, Steve, for that ground truth. Good soaker this morning, no doubt about that. Good morning, Ben. Have a great day. Weather looking nice for next week with those temperatures. Yes. And Diana Peine, my stepmom, that was down here yesterday at Lanesville for our game. Best of luck to the Borden Braves Saturday. Yeah, we'll be taking on Lanesville at 7 p.m. And West Wash, I forget who they're taking on Saturday at 5. Some good teams, though. So as we zoom in, good luck to all the playoff sports out there. So here's full screen. Let me get my face out of the way as we do our little tour of the radar. So that big blob of rain is off to the east-northeast. It is out of here. Indianapolis looking good right now, but we still have some of these spotty showers are going to be dropping in from the northwest. You can see them getting closer to Bedford, Indiana. Bedford, you've got some light rain. Paoli, some light rain, but you can see that heavier pocket just off to the northwest of you guys. That's going to be heading your direction. So that's moving off to the southeast, heading towards Shoals right now. So be prepared for some brief heavy rain. Notice it's pretty skinny, though. It's not going to last very long. It'll move in and out pretty quickly. And then a few more showers off to the east. Again, that laid down a good 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in many locations. And then one last peek at our live radar, and we'll start to wrap things up. So as we zoom in here, we got sprinkly stuff here in Crawford County around English. You guys have just a little bit of light rainfall there. A lot of the area is currently dry. We've got a nice break so far. And into Hardinsburg, Indiana. Between Milltown and Hardinsburg, you've got some sprinkles, some light rain showers. Same around Paoli and Mitchell and Bedford. And then there's the heavier pockets of downpours here moving through Lagodi. So that's moving southeast towards you guys here around Bedford, Mitchell, and Paoli. So nothing severe with this, by the way, just some passing showers. And once we get this activity to move through, speaking of this, over the next couple of hours, we're going to trend a lot drier, it looks like mid to late afternoon and into the evening time. But definitely this is kind of spotty stuff left over, and then definitely not the heavy rainfall that we had earlier today. We're going to pop up here. We'll go back to Trimark. As if you were tuning in just a second ago, they had an issue here at 65. Waterston westbound at 65. Looks like they moved the camera. But if you look at it right there, that is the ramp from Waterston westbound to 65 southbound. So you go whoop, around here. And that is a big overturned Simni. They got the suburban semi wreckers out there. Background is Kentucky Kingdom and Cardinal Stadium. And I believe the Hilton Garden Inn. And so a bit of a mess there on 264. So there you go. Got the detour around that one. All right, that's what's happening on the roads there. Thanks, John Fox, for popping in there with that breaking news. Here is a live look out there with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org cam. Fallsoftheohio.org. Let me get that right. This is the Falls of the Ohio Foundation. Very low clouds across the area behind that system that brought in about an inch of rainfall for much of the area. There's me, and here's a look outside right now with the roads starting to dry out, and I see a little peak of blue here and there. That's at the corner of Vincennes and Market here at Extol Media Studios in Uptown New Albany. And Beverly saying, I grew up in Lanesville. That's where you went to school. And Beverly saw my daughter on Facebook for the senior walk. Yeah, they do that walk through the elementary school to inspire the little kiddos out there. Pamela Nolan, thanks for tuning in to our show this morning, Ben, at 10. I think we've discussed almost everything. And I want to give another shout out to our partners and advertisers and organizations here in Southern Indiana. ivytech.edu. You can head right to the locations tab right there in Sellersburg, and boom, you're right there, and you can learn a whole lot more about the campus, the academic programs offered, the classes there in Sellersburg, special programs, maps, tours, everything you need to know. You can click on whatever you want right there. So there you can see the campus tours. You can, Tuesdays at the Tech, you can get one-on-one information. You can learn more about tuition and aid, student services, and all of that information right there if you want to make that next move. And they've got 42 different programs offered. June 6th is the summer session, which I think my daughter's wanted to take a speech class to get that over with and not have to do that at IU. So I think she's going to do that. If she remembers, my daughter's watching, Hannah's got to sign up there at Ivy Tech for that speech class. And then once you get all of that education, you can get a job. Speaking of job, lionsroofingco.com, Lions Roofing right here in Southern Indiana, hiring a roofing repair technician. You can call them about that, 812-294-3595. If you want some more information about maybe a leaky roof, you can fill that out, get a free estimate, or just, again, give them a call, 812-294-3595. Awesome people there. More jobs here at libspaving.com, L-I-B as in Ben, S, paving.com. There, I mean, it looks like dozens of jobs there. So just apply there. And once you got all that money in the bank from that new career, you can head to newwashbank.com, get your account set up. People you know wherever you go, banking the way you want. They have been super helpful to me on different things, that from financing and to just setting up different bank accounts, business banking, personal banking. All the resources are right there at your fingertips online too. They've got their NWSB mobile app, a whole lot more right there. Banking, again, the way you want. newwashbank.com, NWSB. Awesome people all around here in Southern Indiana. And, oh, I forgot, we need to get to the forecast one more time. For all of you guys that tuned in maybe just a little bit later, let's bring it up. 72 degrees today, a drier afternoon after some hit or miss showers through midday, early afternoon. High of 72. So upper 60s, lower 70s. I would call it mainly dry for late today for our play ball forecast. Gets a little bit breezy, northwest wind around 10 to 20. And our low tonight, 60 degrees, a few showers possible late tonight as we approach midnight. And then I'm just dropping a 20% chance of an isolated shower tomorrow as a little backdoor front moves through. It's very weak. Most of tomorrow's dry. Our normal high is 82, so we're about 5 degrees below normal tomorrow, but notice we're getting back to normal and maybe even above normal as we head towards the middle of next week. 78 for our June 1st on Sunday with sunshine. Great camping weather. Again, give us a shout out. What's happening in your town, your community, your county? Do you have an event going on, a craft fair, a honey fair, a berry fair, a whatever fair? Let us know what's happening in your area and we can pop it up on the screen. 82 degrees Monday, 87 Tuesday, and 86 on Wednesday. And not just to get the word out, some free advertising here for your local event, but just so I know what's going on. Maybe I'll hop over to what's happening in your area. So thanks for sharing what's happening in your neck of the woods. So we've got 87 Tuesday. That would be the warmest if we hit 87 so far this year here in 2025 with this slow roll of springtime. Trying to get those temperatures up. 86 Wednesday before a chance of some rain late Wednesday. Right now it looks like the next bullseye of some potentially heavy rain and some thunderstorms would be next Thursday. And then hovering around 80 degrees, maybe some rain lingering into next Friday as well. All right. I think that will wrap it all up here. Thank you guys. And just looking in at some last minute comments. Sherry Coyne, have a great weekend. Pamela Nolan, thank you for tuning in everybody. Thanks for all those comments. Keeping me company here on Ben at 10 on our Facebook page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, P-E-I-N-E, or you can head over to Extol Weather on Facebook. There it is, P-E-I-N-E. And then you can also head to Extol Media on YouTube, E-X-T-O-L Media on YouTube. Like and subscribe there. You can pull our show up big screen on your television there at home. And you can also head to extolmag.com/weather. And there you can see all of the different weather tools that are at your fingertips. Oh, let me remove that, add that. Here is extolmag.com/weather. Interactive radar right there. You can see me zooming out on that right now. Live 3-day forecast, 7-day forecast that I post every day. And then you've got your weather story that digs into some more details of our weather and what's happening. You got regional radar, storm prediction, day 1, day 2 outlook, any watches or warnings, storm reports from today. And you got river and lake levels, drought status, and the NDOT weather and traffic cameras. Your big full screen interactive radar right there as well with temperatures and more information too. That is gonna do it. Any more comments as I was talking? We have Linda Baker. Thanks for the true weather forecast. You are so welcome. Thank you, Linda, for being our last comment. You guys have a great weekend. Let's head into June, and we'll talk about some summer weather in more detail for next week on Monday's edition of Ben at 10. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.